Colleen Norris, and I could not be more excited for this first episode here with my guest, with a dear friend, Mardi Chadwick-Balcom. So, I am a Network Spinal chiropractor. My practice is in Newbury, Mass, and I help people upgrade their nervous systems and their so that their life can upgrade, so that they can feel more aligned in their life, living their truest path, and feel more alive. And I have my first guest to kick us off here is Mardi. Mardi, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about who you are and what you do, and welcome here.
Mediator. I am a healer, an energy healer, a yoga teacher, and a former divorce attorney, and currently working in Amesbury and Newburyport, Mass, providing support for people who want to divorce differently. I really try and blend all of the work that I've done through my own healing, and particularly centering nervous system
Mm.
regulation as a key component to help people migrate through their divorce journey, with support and hoping for the outcomes that we all know that we want and deserve.
That is just so powerful. I am divorced myself, and as you know as well, that is probably one of the biggest life changes someone can go through, whether it's amicable or not. It's a massive, massive change in life. So I wish I had someone like you back then, but that's okay because I'm so excited that you're offering this now with all the other things that you're doing too.
Yes, thank you. And me too. I've been divorced 18 years, and it didn't go the way I would have envisioned it.
Mm.
And so I do this to provide other people options to have to do it differently.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so why don't we start off? Why don't you share? Because you have been in the office now for it's like you had your 1 year anniversary a couple weeks ago.
I
So
did.
will you share where were you back 1 year ago? Like what was going on in your life? What were you feeling in your body, and what inspired you to come in?
So in my life, I was working as a litigating attorney. I worked almost my entire career with people experiencing domestic violence in their life, either as an attorney or in various administrative roles running programs. And so for the 2 years, 22 to 24, I was litigating. I was in court all of the time.
Mm,
And I knew that that wasn't going to be my long-term strategy.
mm,
And when I came to see you, it was a month before I was leaving. I had planned to leave my job on September 30th. Um, and it's funny because I didn't really know what I was getting into. I just knew that I was teaching at the place where Roots to Wings, where your office is located at the time. I
mhm,
knew people who had gone to you, and I was intrigued by it. I'm like,
mm,
wow, she's doing something different. And
mm.
I just felt called to it. And this is kind of how I live my life a lot. I'm not a huge, I need to know everything. I just kind of go where I'm led energetically. I don't know that I've always been in tune with that's what it is, but that's
Okay.
what it is. So
Mm,
I just felt really called to it. I felt like this is something that I need to look into. So we met, and as
mhm.
soon as we talked, I'm like, oh, this is it. I don't even know what there is for me to do here, but I just know I have to commit and investigate to see what's actually what this journey is about. So
Yeah.
that was how I landed. But I mean, getting ready for a big transition, but also coming off of a 25-year career where I literally had been on call all of the time. At every point in
Yes.
my job, from the time I graduated and began working at my first job until at the last time, I was always on call, always available. And you don't realize what a toll that takes on your body and on your nervous system.
Yeah, and you were dealing with some very, very intense cases and experiences. And um, if I'm remembering correctly, one of the things I remember early on is kind of like a recognition of how you had taken on some of that
Yep.
energy. If is that, am I remembering this correctly?
Yes. So I remember it was um, the week. I quit on a Friday. I think I came in to see you Monday or Tuesday,
Mhm.
and we had a session, and I just felt this tremendous release in my chest and in my,
Mm.
my heart space, my chest. And you acknowledged that. You said, "Wow, there was a big energetic shift here. Like we noticed that something had let go."
Mhm.
Um, and I had this very clear knowing that it was about the 25 years of other people's trauma and stories that I had been holding, that never even realized it because I didn't have this connection to my energetic body, to my emotional body. I lived very much in a traditional lawyer role of, you get things done. I'm a fixer. I solve people's problems. I go to court or whatever it is. It's very much in that
Mhm.
head space, not heart space. And you can't do that work without it impacting. Even if you don't think it's impacting, it does. And in that same time,
Sure.
my own divorce happened and lots of other things. Life happens in those 25 years. And I was really good at pushing it down, storing it in my body,
Mm.
and just saying, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. That was my role always. I'm fine. I'm fine. When we used to go around and working in the domestic violence world, it was kind of touchy feely, what I would call. We talked about our feelings, not me. Like, oh, I'm good. I'm really good. That's for you all to do. I'm the lawyer. I don't need that. And that's
Mhm.
just so not true, right? We're all human and we all have parts of us, all the in different bodies, the energetic body, the emotional body, our physical body. And I just was so out of touch with all of that and had no idea how it impacted me. Except that I
Mm.
did because on the other side of it, I was doing all this deep work and transformation through my yoga when I became a yoga teacher. I became a Kundalini yoga teacher. I've done all these other self discoveries, and I'm like, something isn't fitting, right? There's
Mhm.
something more here. And I
Mm.
started to be able to break away from that identity that I had built and thought I had to hold to opening up into truly who I am and what this next version of my life is. And this was a really big, this was probably, I would say, the second biggest gateway for me to get into it. The first was when I began practicing Kundalini yoga
Okay.
regularly at like 4 to 5 days a week for it's been almost 3 years now. That opened up the door. And then everything that's flowed has just been so I've been guided. I've been guided to all the right places and the right people on this journey. And
Mm.
this has been this is exactly what I didn't know I needed. I needed, but I didn't know, or something, like that.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
powerful.
and thank you for sharing all that, and I can only imagine that some people who are watching and listening right now, whether it's live or the replay, can relate to taking on other people's, right? Like, even if you're not in the role that Marty was in for that long, sometimes we go into those roles where we wanna help, but we end up taking on people's stuff. I mean, I know I've been there, and that's something that I consistently, work on through myself. So if you can relate to that, put something in the comments so you can acknowledge that, and sometimes awareness is just the first piece of really having something shift. And let me ask you this, because if I'm remembering correctly too, when you first, so a year ago, when you had stepped out of that role as a divorce attorney, did you realize at that time that you would come back and do what you're doing now, like the mediation and integrating the nervous system work with it?
I'd always had a vision early on once I found yoga, and I found yoga early, like 2001. And so I was really new in my career. That
Okay.
there was this, I'm like, wow, what if we could bring this kind of mindset, relaxation, like mindfulness into the legal system? So I had that vision.
Yeah.
And then lots happened. And then probably, I don't know, 2 years ago, I started thinking much more intentionally about it. Also knowing that I couldn't sustain what I was doing. But I had been out of
Mhm.
litigation for almost 13 years. I worked in healthcare, running all of the violence intervention and prevention programs. So I was still a big piece of it. But I still had this nudge that I wanted to see the legal world, this integration. And then I became more aware of subconscious reprogramming. I took some coaching on my own and started getting much more trained around nervous system and the Kundalini yoga. When I took that teacher training, it's all about nervous system regulation.
Mm,
It was just like, oh, wow, this is
mm,
incredible. And then I became the attorney towards the end of the last year I was really litigating, who's bringing in her tuning forks, who's bringing in tapping and breath work and hypnosis and doing all of this stuff with my clients and getting different results because the energy I brought to the work, as well as what my clients could have, it changed things. And so, and
love
those
it.
are cases that are really, again, at the highest level. So it was really powerful to see that shift in me and how that impacted others. And
Mm,
what I realized is when I first left, I couldn't go back into the divorce world right away. I just needed a break. So
yeah.
I spent much more time with the healing work, with getting some more certifications, and really doing the coaching. And then finally, this spring, I said, I'm really ready to launch this. And I had
Mm,
the idea of integrative divorce mediation, is what I've been calling it. And it resonates with me. It's integrating our mind, our body, and regulating our nervous system. And I have this kind of framework I'm working out around how I want to do mediation differently. First, we
mm,
regulate, then we inform ourselves, then we stabilize ourselves, and then we empower ourselves to move through it. So it's rise, is what we call it. And it's this opportunity to really look at ourselves a little bit differently and create a framework that is going to get us a different outcome. Because if we
mhm.
come in with the same energy that broke down the marriage, that's what we're going to get in our divorce. But there's a real
Yes.
opportunity for people to write a new story, not just for themselves, but for their relationship, especially if there's kids involved. I wish that I had had that
Mm,
opportunity to do that,
yes.
and reimagine what that can look like without all of the emotion, the dysregulation, all the things that go when we know that when divorce happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. Okay, so let's touch back. So if anyone's watching right now and and they're feeling called and they're thinking about divorce or wanting to divorce in a new way, definitely reach out to Marty. Um, I love that you're doing this. Okay, so let's come back to when did you realize things were shifting? And I know that you've done a lot of other things along the way in this
Mm,
past year too, but like specifically with what we're receiving now, and let me just say too, for anyone who doesn't know what network spinal is, it is a light touch, no cracking chiropractic technique. So I help the nervous system shift into a state where the body can heal itself. So when did you realize things were really shifting for you with what the work we were doing here in the office? What did you notice?
I noticed I was not so reactive.
Hmm.
And that was a big shift for me. Or becoming aware, right? When I did become reactive, noticing that early on versus you're into something and I'm like, oh my God, how did I get here? Right. Like having more
Yes.
awareness of my feelings, my breath, my body, really starting to feel into my body in different ways that I hadn't before. And again,
Mm.
the work that we do together just invites me to go into it in a very safe space. And I think that's one of the most important things that you create is safety
Mm.
in that 30 minutes on the table with you. Is this It's a relaxing, I mean, it's not always pleasant, right? Because we're facing some difficult things, but it's
Yeah.
safe to do so, right? Coming in
Mm.
there. But I would notice it, I would leave and go off into life. And then as the week goes on, I'm like, oh wow, look at, like, not so reactive, but also
Mm.
hugely significant, much less pain in my body. So I'm
Mm.
someone who's had back pain since, I don't know, for 25 years. And I would see my traditional chiropractor very regularly. And I have not had to have any sort of chiropractic adjustments at all since we've started working
Mm.
together. That pain in my back, what I've learned is I don't go to a story of something's wrong with me. I need to go and get it fixed.
Yes.
I've switched to there's some sort of sensation I'm feeling. It's something my body's communicating. Let's investigate, right? Like, let's give it space to talk, to share its story, to understand. And and now I can do that every day, right? Like, so when I get a pain, it's not, I mean, sometimes it's obvious, you bang into something, you've caused something. But most of my
Right.
pains, especially at my age, I'm 53 years old, that you wake up and you're like, where did this pain come from? Like, what is happening? I have one in my wrist that's in particular that randomly shows up, but I am starting to learn what I'm doing and what the signals are around my life habits, my thought patterns, what's happening and why it shows up.
Yes, so it sounds like it's like a paradigm shift from the body when something shows up, the body is broken or wrong and it needs to be fixed to, oh, the body is actually a messenger. It's a messenger to help get my attention about something that may need to shift or may need to be felt.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Mm,
an opportunity to like pay
mm,
attention, right? And the messaging I have now is not I'm broken, that I need fixing. It's this is a part of me and it's a communication. It's a communication that there's an opportunity
mm.
to shift something.
I
And if I
love that.
wait too long, then I end up in crisis, right? Because that's what happens, and that's what happened to me in the past. Ignore, 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 push down, push down, push down, and
Yeah.
especially when we have big trauma. For me, I had a one of my clients was murdered many, many years ago, but it was something that I'm fine, and it
Mm.
was probably 2 years later. It was the first time I ended up with debilitating back pain, like couldn't walk
Wow.
and we're all trying to figure out what happened. Well, that not processing that, right? And
Yes.
my body was talking to me, right? Had I had these tools now, it would have been a very different experience. But in
Yeah.
2003 or 2002, it was a different time. It was a different
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were in a different place.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm just kind of like tuning in to see where we want to go next. Um, So talk to me about, because the name of this is Aligned and Alive. So anything that you feel inspired to share of doing this work with your nervous system and becoming, into more alignment in your career and how you show up in other areas. What is this? How has this changed for you? What would you say now of like how are you showing up differently than you were before? Or anything around being aligned and alive that really resonates with you that you'd like to share right now?
So in my work, for my work life, I will say I'm just so much more conscious of my own energy and my own what I'm bringing to the work and learning how to
Mm,
regulate myself and then co-regulating with the people I'm working with, right? So learning my nervous system impacts others. And in particular, when I'm doing coaching, a lot of the women I coached in the beginning were experiencing divorce as well. We come to this with I want to change my partner or I want to change something
yes.
externally.
Right.
And what I have learned, and it's been my own experience in my current, I'm remarried. My relationship is when I show up differently, regulated and aligned, people around me change. It's just that simple. Not
Yes.
easy, but the principle is simple. So that's why I have to do all of this work and I have to keep coming and I have to keep doing all the things that I continue to do to keep myself regulated, aware.
Mm,
It's just, I'm fixed. I'm done. It's, I have learned these tools that I will continue to use and build on to keep myself regulated, to keep myself healthy and aligned. And it will happen again, right? There'll be times I'm going to wake up with a pain or I'm like, because life is going to happen and it's going to be
yes.
an invitation from my body to be able to slow down and to be able to truly get in tune with what's happening. And I
Mm,
was not taught that. I shouldn't say we don't. We're probably
Mm,
better at it now, but in my younger life, I was never taught to do that. It wasn't something, we didn't have conversations with our body or really, even really give the feelings a place. It just wasn't our
yes.
practice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to just reflect on what I've noticed shift. So just like from my perspective of having you come in the office a year ago and like seeing what you're doing out in the world right now, the word that comes to me is just massive growth, or I should say the phrase. It's just like I have seen the growth in from like a very heart-centered place, from a
Mm,
very, again, aligned place of how you show up, and put yourself out there on social media, and the work that you're doing. I've just seen so much growth in, I mean, from my perspective, I would say it was like you're right. You needed a break like last year, right? Like you needed a
yep.
break. I don't know if the word burned out or if
Oh,
that's the
yeah,
right
that was,
word.
yes, it was definite burnout.
Okay. Yeah. So it was like you gave yourself this opportunity to really kind of regroup and do that inner work and that nervous system work and the other things you did so that you could be able to show up in a different way and come from a place and the other thing that stands out to me too, that I'm remembering is around like letting go of the rules of being a lawyer. So it was like you were a lawyer for so long,
Yep.
right? And maybe if anyone's watching right now, if they're going through a transition, like we have these like unconscious rules that we think we need to live by that actually may not even be aligned and like maybe stifling us in some way. And I feel like I saw that with you of like letting go of the rules, letting go of the I should do this and I'm supposed to do this, and really coming into writing your own rules.
Yep. Trust and identity are the two things that constantly keep coming up for me.
Yes.
And they're my patterns. They're my the when we're doing that work, that's where it shows up in my body. And
Mm,
it's really trusting myself and trusting my journey and my connection to the divine with what is my true identity, not what I think I should do, not what,
mm,
my thought. Did I really even want to be a lawyer? I think I did. But then once you get involved, same thing. Did I really want to get married? I don't know. I thought it was what I was supposed to do. And then I find
mm.
myself in a certain number of years having invested a lot of money, a lot of time. What else do I know? We all find ourselves in that situation, I think, as the older we get, and it's an opportunity to evaluate, is this truly who I am today? Because who I was in 1998 when I started is not who I am in 2025. It's a
Yes.
totally different person. And I have let go of that rigidity of just because
Mm,
something was means it is now. It's like the past does not define me. And the
yes.
choices I made, the decisions I made, they're not who I am today. They contribute to my experience and there's lessons in everything. But as I
Mm,
move forward, I have this beautiful opportunity to recreate, to really follow what my intuition, my heart, my gut, whatever we want to call it, where it leads me, and from
yes.
this heartfelt space. And that is truly where I feel like I have born this business out of, and this next chapter, which I'm balancing very much with. This kind of work is non-negotiable for me now. I am
Yeah.
always going to be doing something that is centering my own growth and healing as part of
Mm,
forever. It's not
mm,
a reward. I don't get to go have a special day, when I've done something. It's like, nope, this is core and non-negotiable in my business.
I
And I
love
think
it.
we all should have that opportunity. We work so hard and then we spend so much time trying to undo the damage that life does.
Mm,
Like if we could start to, I mean, I even think about my kids. They're younger, 25 and 22. At some point they'll get it and start to build a life that
mm.
looks different. We have to go through it though before you appreciate it, I think.
Absolutely. Right. Sometimes we need that contrast of, oh, wow, this is really out of alignment, to then see, okay, then where am I course correcting? Where am I coming back to what is my alignment or my truth, whatever word we want to use there.
Yep.
Um, Yeah. Okay. So what would you say to um someone that may be considering coming in the office right now or considering doing this nervous system work? Is there any like a little nugget that you would say to them if it's like if maybe they're on the fence or they're not sure?
Well, so I've had different experiences. Sometimes I have my body shakes. I have like very physical experiences. And then other days it's very subtle. It
Mm,
is different. It is not what, if you've done traditional chiropractic, it's not that. And I think that people have to truly understand it can be really subtle and so powerful, but you've got to be willing to show up and believe. I think that this
mm,
is that you can heal yourself. You're the guide, like, right? What you're doing is you're opening the pathways for us to access our own internal healing. It's
yes.
like you give us this beautiful opportunity and you hold this space so well. Like, if, especially
Thank
for
you.
people that we have lots of trauma, it can be really scary to start to become vulnerable and to go into this kind of
Mm,
space. What I do love about this is that I didn't have to tell you my whole story. I didn't have to go into all of that. We had a different kind of communication and we certainly shared things, but it felt very safe and very
mm,
nurturing, and you take it at my pace. And so I'm
mm,
here a year, so obviously I'm a little slower than I and some people. I think it's everyone's healing journey is different, but
mm,
really allowing, so anyone that's considering it, like, allowing yourself this gift to get to know yourself through a guide and a healer who is so nurturing, so intuitive, and can really create that space. It's so, like, do it. Just do it.
thank
That's
you.
what I have to
Thank you
say.
so much. Okay. So as we wrap up here, what would you are there any last things that you would say and also let people know where they can find you? So if someone is interested in exploring working with you in any capacity, let them know where to go. And then if there's any last thoughts, any last things that you feel like you want to share.
Yes. So if anyone wants to find me, I'm at integrativedivorcemediation.com. That's my Instagram handle, my Facebook, and that's my website. So you can find everything you need there. And it's all one word, integrative divorce mediation. It's a handful, but it's what it is.
Mhm.
Um, and my last words are like, this is like, you deserve this, right? Like, we all
Mm,
deserve this kind of healing. And it is so worth it. It is a beautiful experience. Scary. It touches your edges and it digs deep into your heart. And that is a gift that I feel so grateful for, to just be able to really go in here and have total access to my heart in a way that feels safe and supported. So just do it.
mm.
That's it. Just do it.
Just do it, Nike, right?
Yep. Your
Oh, well,
$1,000,000,000.
yes. Well, thank you so much for being on here, for taking the time to share. I feel just honored to be on this part of the journey with you the last year and to see all of the growth and all of the beautiful things that you're now offering for others. Yeah, I'm just a huge fan, and I'm just so grateful to have patients like you, and just wanted to share this with the world. So thank you for being here. I'll put in the show notes. I'll put Marty's information. I'll put if you're interested, if you're watching this and you would like to explore coming into my office. Like I mentioned, I am in Newbury, Mass. My website is colleennorriswellness.com. You could book a consultation that's complimentary. We can chat, we can see if it's a good fit, or you can go ahead and book your first session in the office, all right from my website. So, all right. Well, thank you, Marty, so much for your time and sharing your amazing story. And I will be back. Oh, so episode 2 in 2 weeks is going to launch in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for more info about that. But thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Colleen.
You're welcome. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.